Welcome to the online meditation group for Mind in Tower Hamlets. This is a mindfulness meditation focused on the breath and the body. I'm inviting you now to settle down into your body, finding a comfortable position where you can sit for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Notice how you're sitting. It would be better if your back was upright for this meditation and your feet were grounded, but make sure you're sitting in a comfortable position, a position that adopts a sense of wakefulness and posture. Settling down now to focus on the breath, noticing the subtle movements of the breath, the rise and fall of the chest, and subtle movements maybe of the shoulders as you breathe in and out. Noticing that as you breathe deeply, your body may start to become more and more relaxed. And noticing the quality of the breath. We're not trying to control the breath or count or force anything. We're simply watching the breath right here, right now. And if at any time during this meditation your mind wanders or you get distracted by sounds or imagery from the past or present, just come back as many times as necessary and gently just come back to the breath without judgment or self-criticism. You may have noticed now that your breathing has become deeper and more relaxed. I want you to notice where you notice the breath most in the body now. This could be in the nasal cavity. This could be at the back of the throat. Or maybe at the top of the windpipe. Just simply notice where you feel the breath most within the body. You may even notice the breath further down in the tummy, around the belly button. Or maybe even in the chest. Subtle movements of the lungs or the ribs. Simply notice where you notice the breath now. And bring your awareness there. Simply notice the breath. Notice the rise and fall. Notice the deep, soft, solid-like pattern that comes from breathing. Notice its effortlessness. And as you sit now, you may be aware of other sensations arising elsewhere in your body. There may possibly be tension in the muscles, parts of the body you hadn't noticed before, may be calling to you. Just notice your attention going to those parts. You may notice inner resistance, urge to move. And just simply come back to the breath once you've noticed what your body may be saying right now. The simple act of breathing with presence focuses us on the present moment and can make the mind want to wander. Notice any thoughts that may be arising as you try to focus on your breath. Any inner distractions or outer distractions that call your mind. Just come back as many times as it takes to your breath. The in and out, rise and fall. I want you now to focus on the in-breath only. So the part of the breath where your lungs fill with air, the chest rises, space is made deep within you, and you inhale. So just this part of the breathing cycle now. Just this breath in. Just this breath in. And coming back now and focusing on the out breath. So the exhalation, the release of carbon dioxide outwards, the lowering of the chest, the release of air outwards. Just focusing on this breath out. Just the out breath. And notice how that feels. And now coming back to the breath, I want you to focus on the midpoint between in-breath and out-breath. That subtle, almost missable point where the breath turns around and releases, the midpoint. You may notice a tightening of muscles, an expectancy before this point. Just notice the midpoint between in-breath and out-breath now. Just notice how that feels. We often overlook this point of the breathing cycle, but it's quite crucial, quite natural, quite instinctive. What's here for you as you focus on the midpoint of your breath? And now returning to the breath as a whole, reconnecting the whole cycle of breath. The in breath, midpoint, the out breath, all becoming one, all back to the natural, soft rhythm. Chest rising and falling, shoulders moving ever so subtly. The ribs contracting in and out. Notice the quality and depth of your breathing now. Be open to any changes or subtleties that you may notice now, just from breathing. You may be feeling more relaxed, or you may be feeling tension in places you hadn't noticed before. Just accept and be curious about what you can feel right now. Have no judgment. Just notice. Be aware. Accept. And let things be. If you do have any tension now within the body, I'd like you to draw your attention there. So possibly your back, shoulders, pockets of tension around the body. Notice these tensions and imagine breathing into them. Breathing into that spot that may ache or be tense right now. Breathe into this place of tension. And imagine the tension dissolving. We're going to do this throughout the body now. Expanding the breath outwards to the whole of the body. So as if the whole of you were a lung. I'd like you to start breathing into the toes, the legs, the back, arms, chest, the whole of your body, in fact. Breathe into the whole of your body. And notice any places of tension or discomfort or strange, unnameable tension. Breathe into those places now. And imagine as you breathe out, the tension melting away, dissolving. And now drawing the breath back inwards, back into the chest area again, and coming back to the focus on the lungs, the stomach, the tummy. And notice the difference in that sensation. I'd like you now to move your focus and awareness to the top of your head. Imagine now there's a hole about the size of a 20p piece in the top of your head. A coin-sized hole. I'd like you to imagine pulling your air, your breath, upwards with each breath, as if you had a blowhole at the top of your head. I'd like you to pull the breath upwards, skywards, as you breathe in and breathe out through the body. So drawing the breath upwards and releasing it downwards. And really notice what happens as you pull the breath out through the top of the head. So pull that breath upwards and out through the top of the head. And breathe back in through the body. And notice how that feels. Notice that sensation of breath pulling upwards through the head and releasing downwards. Notice now any tension in the face, cheekbones, eyes, around the lips and nose. Notice any tension now. And breathe into the face. Breathe into these pockets of tension. And let the tension dissolve as you breathe out. And just notice how that feels. Coming back to the breath for a final time. Feeling that sense of softness now throughout the body. Just checking in with the feet, the legs, the back, the hips, chest, arms, palms, fingertips. Taking the time now to slowly re-energize the body, maybe by wiggling the toes, moving your fingertips slightly, and just imagining energy now, energy traveling throughout the body, and you slowly re-emerging to a sense of wakefulness now. And gently taking your time to re-emerge. Gently open your eyes. and come back to the room.